أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله S.A.W alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So this would be part 3 of the 7 golden teachings of Allah, of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The 7 golden teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So number 5, knowledge, acquired knowledge. Allah told the Prophet sallallahu firstly, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa. Read in the name of thy Rabb who has created you. Now, the word Iqra doesn't just mean read. It means to read deeply. It means to go into the depths of the meaning of the ayat, of the words in general. Each word has its own fitrah, its own nature. For example, if you look at imra'a means woman. And this word was used as being the wife of Prophet Nuh and the wife of Prophet Lut and the wife of Prophet Zachariah. Now, Zawja is the word that really means wife. And to be a Zawja, the wife would have to be sound in religion and be able to have kids. In the case of Prophet Nuh and Prophet Lut, their wives had kids, but they were religiously unsound. In the case of the wife of Zachariah, the woman of Zachariah, she was religiously sound, but she couldn't have kids. But when she had Yahya, alayhi salam, then she was referred to as Zawja. So, Iqra means then to read and understand the depths of the word and the words in the sentences that Allah Ta'ala has put in Quran. Bi'idhnillah. When I say understand, it means this. We do what we can, but for sure, the detailed understanding really is inspiration from Allah Azza wa Jal. He inspires us to understand. Not like a prophet, no. He just energizes our heart and intellect so that we could understand what he's talking about, bi'idhnillah, within reason. Yes. And we need to understand then that even the kafirun from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they understood the message that was being conveyed to them more than we do. It really made them understand in detail. Example, Abu Jahl, Abu Sufyan, and one other guy, I can't think of his name. When the Prophet was reciting at night, they would sneak and listen to the recital. They ran to each other after the fact. They said, "What you doing here?" They knew why they were there. They said, "Why are you here? Why are you here?" "Okay, we're not coming back tomorrow." They came back. And then the third time, they came back in and said, they started swearing by their mothers and everything else. They're not coming back. So they didn't come back after that. But the point is that the Quran was inspirational. And they understood in their hearts, and they understood in their intellect, in their aql. It really resonated with them. It resonated with the people. They just didn't want to give up power. They didn't want to give up authority. They wanted to hold on to, basically what they thought they owned and how they made their money, etc., etc., etc. Point. Iqra, you heard me say this before, Allah says, إِنَّ جَعَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. For sure without doubt, we made the Quran in Arabic so that you would understand. إِنَّ جَعَلْنَاهُ. Ja'ala means he made something from something else. So then, the something else, the other language was his. Allah Ta'ala talked directly and translated directly what he said. Why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. So that we will understand. And those people, they understood. The believers who became Muslim and the disbelievers who did not become Muslim, they both understood clearly, 100%. But the other group, the kafirun, they were rebellious. They were fasiq. They understood, but they were rebellious. They resented giving in. Kafir. They became kafir. The word kafir means to cover up. Kafira, he covered up. Okay? So what did they cover up? What they understood. They understood the message. They just didn't want to give in to it. Now, so Allah wants us to have knowledge. He also says in Surah Baqarah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. The first part, وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها. Asma comes from the word wasm. Wasm means the qualities thereof, the attributes, the abilities, the nature. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Adam the nature of this whole universe, the fitrah of this whole universe, the details of this whole universe, everything. And then he asked the malaika to give them their names, say the names, their attributes, their abilities, talk about it, explain it. They said what? I'm sorry. So he said, in kuntum sadiqin. In kuntum sadiqin. If you know better, if you're telling the truth, then tell me the names. And they couldn't. You see? The point though is that Adam alayhi salam was given the knowledge of the universe bi'idnillah, within reason. The reason that Allah Ta'ala had. Why? Because if you understand who it is you're worshiping, then it makes you then more committed to taking shahada, to worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ma'a mukhlis, with sincerity. Yes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he emphasized the knowledge, and then he gave wahi. Then he gave revelation to Adam alayhi salam when he ate from the tree. It wasn't an apple tree, as many people say, as most Christians say. No. We don't know what kind of tree it was, but we know it was an apple tree. Okay? There are other names that they say it was, but I won't even go into that because it's L.A. We don't know. Okay? The point is that with knowledge, then, you can understand the scientific aspect of Quran. You can understand the power of the creation. You can understand then that no one else could have done anything here, to create anything here, other than, no one takes care of anything other than Allah Azza wa Jal. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. Allah Ta'ala, there is no deity except Him, and He is the self-subsisting. He is the ever-living and the self-subsisting. And He is the one that takes care of everything, the sun rising and setting, everything that happens, He is the one who takes care of everything. No one else. No need to pray to the rain god, a'udhu billah. No reason to pray to the fertile god, a'udhu billah. All this business that men and women have made up in the history of humanity, all of it is garbage. 100%. So we have to understand then that we need knowledge so that we can protect ourselves from the shayateen, from the human beings and the jinn. The human beings are the one that we see all the time. The human beings are the ones that engage in munkar and try to help us to rationalize doing evil. Example, you have Muslims who sell beer and wine at their stores, at the gas stations. You have Muslims that sell gambling, lottery tickets and all that business. They rationalize it. You have Muslims that sell magazines they shouldn't sell. They rationalize it. Point. Every rationalized evil is munkar. And the Prophet ﷺ said, wrongdoing is that which wavers in your soul, even though you have a legal opinion of others. So no matter what someone says from Quran and Hadith, if it doesn't feel right in your soul, avoid it. And now what do I mean? Because people take Quran out of context. I'll give you an example. The Quran says, and kill them where you see them. So those who are committed to terrorism, they use that ayah, and kill them where you see them. Context. It wasn't talking about randomly killing disbelievers. No. It was talking about kill those who broke the treaty of Hudaybiyah. Kill them where you see them. Why? Because they wouldn't kill people who were under the treaty protection. And because you can't trust them, kill them where you see them. That's it. That's what I mean by people can quote Quran, but it's all out of context. It has nothing to do with how the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ explained and lived the ayat. Bi'idhnillah. Aisha said he was the Quran walking. Done. Another teaching number 6, treatment. Allah says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الذين إن مكناهم في الأرض أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأمروا بالمعروف ونهوا عن المنكر وَلِلَّهِ عَاقِبَةُ الْأُمُورِ. If we were to establish the believers in the world, that's what he's saying in other words. He doesn't say believers directly, but he's talking about the believers. If we were to establish them in the world, they would establish prayer, they would establish zakat, and they would enjoin righteousness and forbid give the advice to stay away from evil. With Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, rests the end and the decision of all affairs. So, as you heard me mention earlier, Ibadullah consists of 2 aspects. That is, to fulfill your duties to Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, through Arkanul Deen, the pillars of the religion, Arkanul Islam, the pillars of Al-Islam. The word Islam is not used in Quran at all. Let's say the word clearly, Islamun. What does that mean? A submission. Allah used Al-Islam, the submission. To who? Him. He says, Islamakum, or Islamihim. But Islamakum, Islamihim. The suffix is a pronoun suffix that makes the word Islam definite. So it is a definite submission to Allah Azza wa Jal. That's all he says in Quran. Now, just so you know about that history, and I talked to Shuyukh about this, They use the word Islam in America and around the world now because they were trying to find out, they had a mashura, they were trying to find out what is the best way to say our religion for non-Muslims. And they came up with Islam. They came up with it. Like the Jews, like the Yahud, they changed the words of the book. Brothers decided to change the word from Quran that Allah Ta'ala uses, al-Islam, and they made it Islam. So we should be on guard against that. No one can say I'm wrong on this. No one can. I'm giving you straight from the book. It's about 8 ayat that talks about al-Islam and Islamukum, Islamihim. Yes. Now, so the vertical reach of the of worshiping Allah Azza wa Jal is everything in Arkanul Islam. But there's also a horizontal reach. We have to treat all of his slaves, us, and everybody else, and all animals righteously. We have to treat each other with fairness and with justice. Allah Ta'ala says, Ahsan, kama ahsan Allahu ilayk. Be kind. Exhibit kindness, like Allah Ta'ala is kind to you. So, we have to engage in good behavior, not being arrogant because, we have some degrees. Not being arrogant because we have different colors in our racial presentation. Not thinking that one race is better than another race. One brother, one masjid, I won't name the name, but I will just tell you, and he was not Arabi. I was trying to help him with his prayer because he messed up. He said, I don't need your help. I'm better than you. That's what he said to my face. Yes. Point. Shaitan said, I'm not bowing down to Adam because I'm better than him. You made me from smokeless fire and you made him from stinking black mud. Point. When we act as if we're better than somebody, for whatever the reason, we're acting like Shaitan. We're following Sunnah to Shaitan. Not Sunnatun Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We're not. We're following Shaitan. So we have to then treat people well on all levels. Be kind. Be nice. Be idnillah. Be fair. Be just to each other. And especially to non-Muslims. We are supposed to be shuhada, witnesses for non-Muslims. We're supposed to call them to right-mindedness. But if we're too busy acting ignorant, acting jahl, like we don't understand what life is all about, like the Quran is just a storybook. Because, see, we got Muslims, they just receive the Quran as if it's a storybook. They don't let it go and enter the heart, enter the mind, and act on it. Knowledge is something, when you have knowledge, you act on it. And we have brothers and sisters, they do a whole lot of different things, a whole lot of rituals, but they don't have the spirit of what our religion is all about. They don't. We're going to stop here.